So everybody used to come and get fly from JC Sports. That was on 132nd and 7th Avenue. And that's also AZ, who you talking about in Paid the Food block, Rich Porter block, and Al Poe block. So Tyson, was a good boxer, and my dad and him had a great relationship on positive notes. So they hung out together, and they both had their own money, and they enjoyed a lot of great things together. So,
what's up, guys? Welcome back to Motor Munitions. Down here with a special person, guys. We're in Brooklyn for a reason tonight. We're here with D-Nice. I know I gave a little bit of a teaser on one of the shorts, but guys, for you folks that are from New York or from the East Coast, you probably heard a lot of big names. D-Nice is actually AKA the son of Puerto Rican Jesus. He's got a hell of a story to tell. I'm going to kind of let him introduce himself, and then we're going to get into a few things that he's working on. For you folks that don't know, back in the 80s and 90s, his father, Puerto Rican Jesus from Brooklyn, true street legend, and very unique, right? And I'm going to let him talk about it, but he was a guy that back then in the fucking 80s and 90s when, I think crack first came out and everything else, and people were making money. For you folks to see all the movies and everything else, there will never be another time like in the 80s and 90s, young kids from fucking 17 years old to early 20s that were multi-millionaires, entrepreneurs, right? You're talking about the Rockefellers and the fucking Benjamin Franklins of the streets, guys. His father was in a unique position where this guy had love. Puerto Rican Jesus had love in all the 5 boroughs. You never even heard about violence or anything associated with them. If you just want to touch on that a little bit, the level of respect that your father had, not just Brooklyn, but fucking New York and probably other states as a whole.
Yeah, my pops was internationally known for things like doing positive because he's about peace and money. That's it. He didn't hurt nobody. He wasn't on that. He was a businessman. He liked, to keep things on business, meaning to make sure he gets his money out of it, but go home to his family. And that was his life. He wasn't out to hurt nobody. He was more trying to, help people.
And indeed, talking about your father, tell the audience, and we'll talk more about him and his legacy. But tell them what you're working on, which is really one of the reasons we're out here. I came across you on Instagram. You got your own story, right? You've been through a lot, super positive things you're doing. You're going to get into the merch and some of the other things, but tell us about the documentary you're working on, actually the docu-series.
Yeah, I've been working hard on it, like at least 30 months straight. So right now I'm at the editing point. There's 19 different speakers I got on there. So imagine there's a lot of editing got to be involved. So I broke it down to 3 seasons. Yes, it's in the making. Yes, it's going to be a classic. It's definitely going to be a lot of history that people might be surprised because they didn't know. Puerto Rican Jesus, it's a real big trendsetter to New York City. And a lot of dudes got credit for stuff they didn't supposed to get credit for. But my dad wasn't the type to go outside and let everybody know he was the first one to do it.
And guys, there's so much history that goes on with his pops. Was a good friend of Mike Tyson. I don't know if a lot of you folks know that, but if you want to tell some of the folks just the relationship he had with someone like Mike Tyson.
And Mike Tyson was my dad's best friend at one point in time in his life. Maybe at the best time in his life as a kid. They both was kids. They both was on the come up. And my dad, was actually up before Tyson was up. Tyson's still alive to say everything I'm saying, so it's not like it's a myth, but it's true. History you can't erase. My pops was rich before Tyson was rich. So when Tyson was coming up trying to be the champion of the world, my father already had money. He's already successful, on his own. So Tyson, like any other individual that's a celebrity, they wanted to be like street individuals at that time that had money. Because everybody liked money. So Tyson, was a good boxer, and my dad and him had a great relationship on positive notes. So they hung out together, and they both had their own money, and they enjoyed a lot of great things together. So Tyson here, still alive, like I said, speak on that.
Yeah. And listen, I know you spoke about this in other documentaries, or not documentaries. You've been on quite a few podcasts, actually. You know, it's a really interesting story. Guys, sorry if you got a little background noise between the helicopters and the water taxis. But this is, I was just going to say, this is New York, so you get a taste of it. No, it is never quiet. And before we get into some more stuff, guys, I'm also going to drop some links in the description. I want you to check out D Nice's YouTube page, the Son of Puerto Rican Jesus. I'll drop that in the description. I'm also going to drop in the description where to get his merch. We'll get into that in a minute. You also got your production company, SPRJ. So
SPRJ Production Company, LLC. It's a limited liability company. We're looking for all stories that's big like my dad. I want to base my company on basically untold stories. Stories that nobody never heard of. But I wanted my company to be unique. So I'm starting off with my dad project as the first one. But I got more coming right after. That's going to be big as well, just like my dad's.
Yeah, which is awesome. And this is a guy from, no bullshit, obviously, right? He's, like I said, the son. He's from the streets himself. He's from Brooklyn. So really, real credible stuff. This isn't, he's not putting stuff out there like some of these other guys that go into these areas and talk about shit. He's actually from there and everything else. He's funding, you just want to speak on that. You funded this entire thing by yourself.
I funded the whole project from prison. I came up with the whole idea from jail. I just did 10 years in jail for, straight, day for day. I came out. Luckily, by chance, I had no parole. I was a free man. I came home from federal prison. So when I was in prison, I used to watch TV a lot, and I used to see, other series and stuff. But, they didn't have no natural, no meaning to it. It was just like a lot of fake stuff in it. So I knew if I come home and do my dad's story, being that my dad passed away, and his is true, it probably would keep me out the street. That's one. And I would have something different to tell my kids because, like I said, I was living life wrong at one time. So I felt like if I do movies or something different, it'll mean something to my dad and my family and my kids as well, seeing that I came out from prison and did, something positive, something that I never knew I could do. So that's my journey of doing my father's story. And at the same time, my father deserved to be out here and part of New York culture because he definitely was a trendsetter. He's the first dude ever with the Jesus head. A lot of dudes think Biggie Smalls was the first one with the Jesus head, but Biggie Smalls wasn't making money in 1985. You understand? So you just do the numbers to stuff, and if it don't make sense, it had to be done before. Jesus was doing many of things before it was a Biggie Smalls. Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls, because he is the Brooklyn Knight. But my father was representing Brooklyn way before Biggie Smalls. No,
you hear that a lot. No, you hear the stories.
So Biggie Smalls got part of his image from Puerto Rican Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And a lot of other individuals did too. And Puffy is unfortunately my dad's friend. So you can ask Puffy about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't have to listen to me.
Yeah.
There's speakers out here that's live to ask. Just ask. That's why it's called history.
And I know another story. I don't know if you want to speak on it. Totally up to you. I know, I was watching, I know a lot of folks are familiar with DJ Vlad. He interviewed AZ from that they portrayed in the movie Paid in Full. Dad, your father actually saved his life.
That's my father's friend, unfortunately. My dad had a lot of friends. And my dad used to jump out the window. Why, I don't know. For individuals. Yeah, like my dad, I'm a kid to those individuals. I don't know AZ personally. I know his relationship with my dad was very well known, and they was good buddies, play basketball together, hang out together, date girls together. Yeah, they was close. But at the end of the day, I don't compare AZ to my dad. Or I won't like to say that he's my dad's friend, and he know why. You understand? So we're gonna leave it at that. But my dad did jump out the window for him, and like I said, I don't know why he saved his life, but my dad also could have lost his life by doing that, because at that time and day, you couldn't just jump in front of the bullet for nobody. You understand? My dad was doing that for a lot of people, and luckily he was respected by other wolves that they didn't use the gun on him that they wanted to use on AZ. You understand? So, like I said, yeah, AZ speaks on it, but is AZ a good friend? You know, in time it'll tell. You feel me? So, like I said, my dad shouldn't have did stuff that he did, but he did do it because he was a good individual. My dad was about peace.
That's what you hear all the time, yeah.
He wasn't about seeing nobody hurt, whether it was from his own friends or from his enemies. He just wanted everybody to be and get money. Yeah, so his and AZ had a good relationship.
And you know, one of the things you brought up too, coming out of prison, right, yourself, and then immediately, right, I got a lot of friends who are locked up, still locked up, whatever the case might be. It's not easy to come home, even though you got the history of your father's legacy and wanting to do a movie with him, to come out and then start an LLC, right, figure that out, come out with merch, come out with a YouTube channel, all these other social media, and guys, we'll drop all of the links, but like, to have that mentality with that kind of history and everything else goes to show something. Will you be talking about that, or maybe like, I know you got the docu-series and everything else coming up, but I think there's a lot of people also that be interested about like, holy shit, there's a real guy that's doing this thing.
Like I said, what I'm doing is not really impressive to me. You feel me? Because where I came from is people that don't got no motion, meaning they can't move, and I was one of them. Most of my incarceration, I was in a box. So a lot of people walk around and stuff like, I don't be impressed by them. You understand? Because I was in situations where I know they might even be able to survive, or maybe they even make it through or have the mental that I got. So, you know, like I said, when I come out here for the youth to show that you could change a negative situation and turn it positive if that's what you want to do. And I did it on my own with no help. I put myself in the rooms that I put myself in. So I showed them that they could do the same thing, even though we counted out as soon as we walk outside. The prison doors, they already say you coming back. So, you know, you got to tell yourself, like, nah, that ain't what it is. I ain't going back nowhere. But where I put myself at, and that's what I did. I came out here, and I knew I was putting myself in areas where I wasn't putting myself back, because I didn't want to be in the neighborhoods and doing the same stuff that was cool to other individuals that I grew up with before. You know, so now I be by myself. I don't, you know, got friends and stuff, but that's cool. Because in prison, I didn't have friends. I only had one ID. It was me on it. So I had to make it back out here to my family. So now that's what matters to me. I said, making sure that my family see me for who I am now, not for who I was before.
That's what made me, reach out to him, right? I seen him on Instagram doing his thing, all positive messages, right? And I was like, guys, you know, this is typically a firearms channel in New York. What got me started is all the bullshit with the state and local government holding people back. And personally, you know, there's a lot of programs too, and I'll tell you offline, but folks know there's a lot of organizations trying to give the Second Amendment right back to felons also. Right now, felons, unfortunately, can't carry. And we always say it in the Second Amendment communities, good people do bad things sometimes. It's a part of life, right? Like, not everyone that makes a mistake is a bad person. And everyone should, you know, gets mentally stable, should be allowed to protect themselves and their family. But there are programs, and we'll get into that at a different time, where there's a big push to help get some people back the Second Amendment right, especially folks that are doing positive things and everything else, which is huge, because you also come home. I'm sure it's not easy to come home and be successful. There's always a lot of haters out there too, right?
Rough. Anytime you're trying to do something right, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, since I've been doing this, it's like I said, it's rough. Like, sometimes I want to go work at Walmart or DoorDash or do something else, because running your own company every day, if you're doing it with your own funding, it's not even easy at all, because it's a lot of stuff you're going to pay for over and over again, because you don't know the business yet. You don't understand the lane that you take. You feel me? Taking on a lot of responsibility that you gotta know how to lead everything you're doing. And if you don't, you make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it. So, you know, I do everything now through Legal Zoom.
That's what I did my LLC for.
Yeah, so all my stuff is legitimately done, and I'm blessed that I did make the mistakes I did in the beginning before it was too late. So now, yeah, my stuff is all, you know, mine, thank God, because I had the right supporters and I had the right people to put me to the information that I needed to, you know what I mean, know. But I went through mad wrong information, don't get it twisted. And I paid for it, funded it. So I made bad mistakes that'll make you quit. You know, because when you're spending your money and you don't notice this stuff and get you discouraged, but you don't want to spend it again and it ain't right again.
So you got that famous saying, excuse my language, it's like being pregnant or having a baby. Everyone says congratulations when you have the baby, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked before you had it.
It's a fact.
So, you know.
It's a long journey.
Yeah, it is a long journey. And I want to show him some of the merch, guys, because like I said, he's self-funded. I actually came out to him. I was like, you know, it just goes back to, you know, what's the point of having a New York platform? I'm always talking about New York and this and that. You know, I want to see him grow his channel. We're going to put links to that, but I want to show off this, you know, this is like a one-off, the jacket. He's got the hoodies.
Yeah, I got, let me get him a little rundown for you. I got the hat right here. These is my partner hats, New York Minute. That's our website. Show them.
Guys, check this out. Check out some of the logos. Look at the Pac-Man with the money symbols. You guys know my New York logo, so I love all the little stuff. But really cool, quality, embroidered.
Definitely designed it ourselves.
And guys, this I want to talk about.
This is my hoodie. You see, we took out the plastic.
Everything's got a meaning on this hoodie, guys. So I'm gonna let him kind of walk through.
You can hold it for the shoulder. It's your plastic, man. But I charge $100 for those hoodies. As you see, he got the red one on. I got different colors.
And guys, you got his father's name. You got the Statue of Liberty for New York, right?
Yeah, I put that on there to start it off there since he went there with it. The big Puerto Rican Jesus sign, I call that the Superman sign, because when you walk around New York City with that on, they gonna know who that is. So that's like a bulletproof vest for when you're in the city.
Show me the thing. Talk about the white.
This thing right here, I put the I did this. I put the Statue of Liberty to the head right there. You see right there too. That's crazy. That is crazy. My pop, he wanted them, and I'm one of them too. That we took the most money out of the city. So that's true though. We from Cyprus. Of course, we from Brooklyn. My pops had every BMW till he died. He had the M6, the four-door. The Lambo
truck.
Got
the white Lamborghini truck. There's history behind that too.
The Lamborghini just came out first. My pops and Tyson been had it, 70s, all through East New York. My pops had the store in Harlem. That's why he got Harlem, because my pops is really from Brooklyn, but he's like a Brooklyn / Harlem dude. So the same love in Brooklyn, he got in Harlem. Mike Tyson gloves is underneath it because he was signed, autographed, and I got the signature for the history because that was his right-hand man. But Harlem is where he also had the store at, on 132nd and 7th Avenue, called JC Sports, where you could go get all the fly designer in that era. Dapper Dane and Miguel was the top designers in that era, and they used to give my pops the clothes that go in the store, so everybody used to come and get fly from JC Sports. That was on 132nd and 7th Avenue. And that's also AZ, who you talking about in Pay the Food block, Rich Porter block, and Al Poe block, where they got all their money.
Interesting.
So think about it. How smart was Jesus? Yeah. He put the store on the block where all the money was already coming. So you can't really compare dudes to my pops because his brain was different. You understand? Just think about what I said. He came from Brooklyn, put this store on the most popular block in Harlem, where all the girls with the fat little asses is walking, because of who's there, all the underworld kings, the niggas that's getting the most money. So now, how you get in the block? You can't come over there and try to do it with guns and stuff. You're gonna lose. So how you do it? You gotta buy a fucking store legitly on the block, and now you get all the money to come into the store. Now you what? A part of the block. Man, come on, man, stop.
And guys, this is once again, when is this? 80s, 90s?
This is the 70s, the 80s. My father really was doing this in like the 80s though, 83, 84, 85. I was born in 85, so I don't want to lie and say something. I let the doc series to tell you, because everybody that's somebody from New York is on here. So just tune into the doc, purchase it. It's gonna be worth it. I got 3 seasons. And it's 19 speakers. They break down everything I'm saying.
Yeah, guys, he's got a lot more coming, like you said. So how many, the stories tonight what we're doing is really just getting you guys ready for the documentary. What we spoke about tonight, a lot of this is public info, right?
Yeah, public. It's all over.
What he's got coming out, though, that's something special. I mean, that's really going to be special.
You're not going to never see on YouTube. You're not going to see nowhere unless I put it out. Why? Because that's my father, so I'm not just releasing pictures of my grandmother or pictures of any family member until my doc series is out. So you ain't gonna never see no picture that's on my doc on somebody else's platform unless they stole it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna just release photos of my family until the doc is finished. You know what I mean? So a lot of my information is gonna be information that wasn't told on YouTube or through all these robot AIs.
He's got real incredible guests too. I'm not going to spoil it. We're going to drop more teasers as he gets close. When do you think the documentary just roughly end of the year?
I'm pushing it definitely for this year. I'm tired of waiting. I want
but you're doing the right thing also. You're not rushing it.
Yeah, I don't want to rush it. I wanted to trademark my logo, like all my stuff. I want it to be professionally done. I don't want to rush something. And then, like I said, I take a headache at the end where, I'm supposed to be able to relax and win now. Like, so at the end of the day, I'd rather take my time, learn from the mistakes I've been making on the journey, and appreciate, the mistakes as I go along. But it's gonna definitely be out this year. Ain't no question. At least season 1. I don't know about all 3 seasons, but season 1 do good numbers, I put season 2 out, But like I said, I got 19 speakers, so, people's attention span is short. So I'm gonna keep it broken down to episodes. So, they'll keep their popcorn ready and, be ready for next episode to see what they talk about then.
Plus, we got so much to talk about anyway. It's like,
it's a lot
guys,
of
there's so much history. I mean, there's so much. He's a Brooklyn guy, but this was a guy, once again, he got love for every borough, right? I guess you could almost call him Mr. New York, right? I mean, just legendary guy. Was there anything that we didn't talk about tonight that you do want to talk about? Or anything?
Pretty much. I just wanted to touch up on the public. If you hear Puerto Rican Jesus' name, just thinking it about a positive Puerto Rican that definitely came out here to New York City and, being raised in a city, Puerto Rican, with all blacks and, came and was a trendsetter. Y'all got to give him his flowers and give me the opportunity to present to the world my Pops doc series without any haters saying, oh, why are you trying to profit off of Jesus? No, I'm not trying to profit off of Jesus. That's my dad's name. He was born on Christmas. That's why he was named Jesus. My grandmother named him that. I'm not trying to use God to profit off of. I'm a man of God. I would never do that. You understand? So just know when you hear Puerto Rican Jesus, it was a guy in New York City by the name of that. That was also
that was what he was
popular guy.
No
disrespect to nobody. Because there's a lot of guys out here with that name, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. But my dad's name was Puerto Rican Jesus, and he was well known in New York City.
And you could Google it. Like this is known. I mean, he's
because I get a lot of people trying to think I'm disrespecting the God. I'm a man of God. I don't want that problem. So no, it's not that. No, so I just wanted to make that clear too on your platform before they think that we're trying to abuse. So
they know.
We on positive time. I just want y'all to check out my Father Doc series. If y'all feel like the information we provide in this room, just check into it.
Yep.
That's all. It don't hurt nobody to do that.
Yeah, and check him out. Like I said, I'm gonna drop his links.
Yeah, mine is the Puerto Rican Jesus on IG. SPRJ Productions on IG, and Son of Puerto Rican Jesus on all platforms, even the YouTube channel is Son of Puerto Rican Jesus.
Yeah, we'll also drop the link for the merch. Like I said, guys, check it out. I never promote merch unless, you know, it's worth promoting. And guys, like I said, it's just got so much history behind it.
Too.
And it's fucking quality, too. Excuse the language. You know I always curse in my videos anyway. It's that New York tone. But guys, it's super good quality. And how can you not help out a fellow New Yorker that's doing positive things, especially in today's day and age, man?
Yeah, and make sure, I know this is a firearm channel, so make sure if your firearm legit, don't carry it.
Yeah.
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 I'm telling you now, I made all the mistakes for you.
Yeah. We're gonna cover some firearms content down the road.
Yeah, we definitely
Together,
carry.
yeah.
Like I said, I got caught with a lot of pistols, so don't carry them if it ain't legit.
Yeah.
We don't do nothing unless it's legit now.
So guys, yeah, stay tuned. Always be safe.
Stay
I always
safe.
say always stay strapped, but only do it legally.
Yeah.
And listen, that's what the channel's for. If you want to know how to get it legally, drop a comment. We'll help you as best as we can. And other than that, man, dude, really appreciate it.
Appreciate you too,
You're
kid.
doing great things.
Yeah.